and they go to the bank, and the bank offers a lease and not a loan, but a lease. In a lease, the equipment is owned by the bank, not by the company. And at the end of the period, the company either returns the equipment or buys it back from the bank at the residual value. Correct? And the bank is offering 10 million in funds, 7-year term, quarterly payments, and this is very important. The payments are at the end, not at the beginning, but he might ask you at the beginning. If I actually don't know how to change in my calculator, but it's supposed to be easy. But when they say at the end, I just do it in Excel. At the beginning, I do it in Excel. But just make sure that you know how to change the settings in your calculator, because if not, you're gonna get it wrong. Because usually leases here is usually at the end, but usually leases you pay in advance. You pay at the beginning of the term, and that you have to change the setting. If you do it in Excel, it's very easy because the formula tells you to put 0 or 1. And it tells you beginning or end, 1 and 0 depending on where. So it's very easy to do it in Excel. So just practice a little bit. If there is one that it's at the end, at the beginning, because he might ask you something like that. And I think in the class notes there's one that where it was at the beginning.
Wow.
Okay, so 7-year quarterly at the end of each quarter, fully amortized basis to the projected residual, 4% interest, and they estimate the bank that the residual is going to be 15%. 15% of 12 million is 1,800,000, correct?
Yes.
So you take the residual by the price of the equipment, and that's what you expect the equipment to be worth as at the end. So what is the estimate the quarterly lease payment and implied residual value for the finance lease? Okay, the implied residual value. Okay, so how do we get the payment? Well, we say present value is going to be equal to minus $10 million. Correct? Then we know that the period is going to be 7 times 4, because we're paying 4 times a year. That's going to be M, 28. Then we know that interest rate is going to be equal to 4 divided by 4, it's going to be equal to 1. And we know that the future value is going to be a residual. That is 15% of 12, that's 1,800,000. So what is our payment? We plug this in the calculator. You say 10 million. Is our present value. 800. Future value. Our periods are 28, and we have a rate of 1 on this payment. And we get a payment of 355,220.37. So each quarter.
So in Excel, the type which is end of period or beginning.
Exactly. It's very easy in Excel.
How you gonna do that?
You put present value and it asks you for rate.
It asks for
and
rate,
call.
enter, VB, FB, and type. Type it says whether it's and if it's beginning you put 0.
Yeah.
No. If it's beginning you put 1. If end you put 0.
The beginning is the end period is the default.
End
If it's
of
end, you
period,
don't even have to put it. But if it's beginning, you gotta put it. Now, I think let me just check. But I think in Excel,
You prepare 100%.
present value, you have rates.
Oh,
Yeah, 355.
okay. Can you send it? When it thinks, I need to type. I need to build mine.
You need to
But
build. I
mine.
give you the solution, but you need to build on your own. Then only you know.
I know, but send to me in order to check how it works. And after I build mine, because I need to know first.
Get the same amount exactly. If it's the end, you just put a 1 instead of the 0 at the end.
Yeah.
And the difference is
Actually, when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
start typing, it will show you what you need.
If it was at the beginning, the payment is 351, 703.
Here, what they change in
No, here nothing changed here. Changes in the calculator that you put when is the payment, if it's at the beginning or at the end.
See,
But
here-
I don't know what is the thing in the calculator to change it. Because I do it in Excel, so I should check it, but I do it in Excel.
I gave there is a column called beginning. I gave it as 0, so I've taken it as 0. If it is at the beginning of the one, then you put it as 1 here. So take this formula. This is what you need to remember. The payment. PNT is the payment calculation.
Okay, so the other one is how, now we know the residual and we know the payment, right? So what is the loss? How can the bank lose on this? Well, the first one is if the company cannot pay the lease amount, right? The second one is, let's say they pay all the payments, and you have, at the end, the company can either pay you 1,800,000 or let you keep the asset, correct? If the asset is worth more than 18,800, in all probability, the company will pay you and then sell it or keep it, correct?
correct.
So if, let's say, if the asset is worth $2 million, the company is not going to tell the bank keep it, right? They're going to pay you. But if the asset at the end is worth less than 1,800, the company is gonna the company is not gonna keep it. It's going to tell you, oh, here's the car, keep the car, bank, and you as the bank have to go sell it, and you're going to sell it at a price that is less. So the other possibility is that the residual value at the end is lower than what you estimate. That's the whole point. And it just tells you the importance as a bank to calculate good residual values at the end.
We didn't factor in 2 million down payment by lease, right?
Well, you don't have to, because that remember that the loan is going to be 10. So 12 minus 2 is the 10. So that payment that the company is doing is for the equipment, and it's getting factored in a way in the residual value. Or lessen, if you increase that amount, the payment will be less for the company, because the loan will not be 10 million, it will be less. So,
So quarterly lease payment is 355.
yeah.
Okay.
So what is it?
Implied residual value for finance lease is
Residual value is
1.8.
0.15 times the 12.
So the second question indicate how the bank could incur a credit loss on the transaction.
Yeah.
So, but you don't know the actual value, right?
Well, you could include either by the company not paying you the payments, at default on the company, or by the value of the lease of the asset
Lesser,
being less than the residual payment that you calculated. Because remember that on a loan, the company has to pay you at the end.
Mm.
Here, they have the choice to give you back the asset. So they will only give it back
Yeah.
if the value is less
Mm.
than what you have to pay them to keep it. That's the only way. So miscalculating the residual value will make the bank incur in a lose. So in most probability, banks are going to be more cautious on the residual value, and they're going to leave a cushion as well. And you probably see that in cars. In
Yes.
cars, I imagine if you get a lease in the U.S. for your car, the residual value is
High.
it's probably no, it's probably less than
50%.
than the market value, because that way you encourage the person to pay the bank and keep the car, or to trade the car for another car. If it's less, the bank will have tons of cars to sell, and they will take a lot of losses. And then, what will the bank do? Increase interest to make up for those losses in the future. Okay, the second one. Read it.
This third one. Oh,
The third one.
No, it's actually
oh, the
C
third
in
one.
here. First one only.
One, two, ABC.
Did I tell you at what time?